Good morning. Welcome to the CBS. CBS AM debrief this Tuesday, the 23rd of November, just on 8:30 a.m. I'm David Combe. What happened overnight? Well, one stage the Dow was down 150 points. Let's bring that up here. Right down here at around 1150. Having opened at 11,200 and ended up the session down 24 points. Now, concerns about Ireland and Europe were somewhat overcome by a good result from the tech sector, with Hewlett-Packard being the standout there. Let's have a look at what some of those other indices were doing. The S&P 500 down 1.89, just 0.16%, and the Nasdaq up 0.55, so a bit over 0.5% there. As I mentioned, on back by good tech sector numbers. Rest of Europe, if we can just bring that up here. Okay, yes, so that's pretty picture there, with the FTSE down 0.91%, the DAX down 0.31%, and the CAC off over 1%, down 42 points. Yesterday saw our market close slightly up, 0.31%. Well, at this stage, grateful for that. Singapore down 0.2%, Hang Seng down 0.35%, and the TOPIX up 0.69%. Now, futures for our region suggest a 27 or 0.58%, so over 0.5% drop there. Singapore about half that, Hang Seng again, TOPIX up 0.11%, and the Nikkei down 0.3%. Now, why we seem to always take this sort of downside news to such extremes and then recover very weakly. Friday being a good example, when we had that massive move on the Dow, and we opened up, and then throughout the course of the day just petered off to end up closing down lower on the day. So that seems to be really the theme at the moment, where we're sort of really selling the fact and just coming back in and buying things up. The Europe story, to my mind, it's a repetition of what happened with Greece. Ultimately, they will get bailed out. They are being bailed out. It confounds me somewhat why we keep seeing this sort of reaction to this sort of data. The China story, it's great news that they're wanting to deal with their runaway economy there, and putting some interest rate brakes on there. It certainly indicates that that economy is going nowhere other than up. So whilst we're linked to that, it should be happy days, but that's not seemingly what's happening in the market right now. Anyway, let's move on. Let's take a look at the Forex calendar here for today, Tuesday the 23rd. And we can see we've got quite a lot of data coming out of Europe. With consumer confidence, that figure was down 11. The previous was down 10. Down 11 was the previous, and the forecast of the previous was 11. So a little bit better there. Then we've got some data that's yet to be released out of New Zealand, and then Euro GDP numbers for the quarter, German numbers, Purchasing Managers Index numbers, and so on. And then later on this evening, around 11 o'clock, we've got the Consumer Price Index out of Canada, and that's a year-on-year for October. And then CPI core data out of Bank of Canada, and retail sales, another highly significant figure out there, which gives some direction on what the Canadians are doing. Okay, let's move on and take a look at the commodity space, with crude at 81.70, which is down 28 cents. Not too much going on there. Coffee at 217.15, down 2%. Corn down 1%. Cotton down 4.35 now. After this recent run up, I guess we're due to see some fairly significant pullbacks because it's really had an incredible run there. Oats down 0.61%, rough price up down 1.12. So my guess here is the US dollar index has started to strengthen. That's put downward price pressure on the commodities. Soy, $12.21.5. Sugar at 26.5, and wool at $10.10. Copper at 378.40. That's come off a little bit on the recent run-up that we've seen. Gold at $1,365.70 was up $13.40, or just under 1%. Silver at 27.85, 81.5 rather, up 0.636. And then the currency pairs, US dollar is buying 7.7555 Hong Kong dollars, 1.0111 Aussie, 1.0184 Canadian, 0.9897 Swiss francs, and 62.66 pence, 83.279 yen, and 73.4 euro cents. Okay, let's take a look at the Falcon Trader. Take a quick look at our sample account based on the VectorVest top stock picks, and we're now a couple of weeks into that. I'll need to go back and check exactly what the opening dates were. 29th rather. So it's actually more than a couple of weeks now. It's 3 weeks. We can see though that we're getting some pretty good rates of return there. 20% for Medusa, which is a cracking result. Fossil up 18. Great Wall Motor Company up 10, and the Oriental Watch Holdings Company up 17%. I guess that's a fair sign, given that we've got 2 watch and jewellery companies out of Hong Kong, that the consumer is coming out in force there in Asia and buying up in Hong Kong. Nice place to own a jewellery store, I guess. Okay, moving on. Go and have a quick look at global markets here, and then we'll wrap things up. G2 Financial is a newsletter that I subscribe to. Just put a buy recommendation out on ABY, or Vila, and just see here we've got the makings of the Morning Star pattern here, and starting to see it move up. Now we saw this get knocked down on the back of the commodity price collapse the other week, and got a nice uptrend there. Should see some continuation. Hopefully see the stochastic start to roll around here quite quickly and then move higher. So happy to buy here at 130 with the stop loss down underneath 120, and looking for a, they suggested a limit take profit order around 165. Yes, around that. I'm looking to reach that back in October of 09. Okay, quick look at the local index. Yes, sorry about this. Okay, here we are. Okay, so key level, as always, is this 4600 level, which was the high back here in August, and if we can maintain that here today, I really am inclined to think this is a good opportunity to be buying, and as always, continue to maintain 4861 or thereabouts as a next level for target, next target level. So we'll see what happens there. Let's take a look now at the US dollar index. And perhaps before we do, we'll take a quick look at what Aladdin's doing. For those of you that have caught my previous AM debriefs will know that I've been following this for a couple of weeks now, along with Bannerman, and did get a pull back here to fill these gaps here, and now it seems to be moving up here quite nicely once again. And there's Bannerman. Should be filling that gap there at some point. Okay. Okay, so we saw the US dollar show some strength there. We've just got that opening candle there. It's hard to see, so I'll just expand that out. Okay, so if we continue to see this European debt contagion issue come to bear more strongly, then we expect to see this continuation up here towards 80 or 79.50. If not, then on the back of the monetary easing, expect a retest down here at the 78 level once again, and of course that should see commodity prices all move up, and the Aussie dollar strengthen as well. Okay, I think I'll leave it at that. Thanks as always for your attention. Hope you found that worthwhile, and we'll speak again soon, just as I can figure out how to shut this down. Okay, thanks very much. Bye for now.